Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. Today's episode is all about rune magic, about rituals you can do to protect yourself. Now, this isn't just some episode where I'm going to mention some runes and going to tell you what they do. Well, that's what I'm going to do, but we're going to go a bit further than that. I'm going to give you some runes, tell you what they do, and then I'm going to tell you how you could use them. Not how you should use them, how you could use them. And then I'm going to tell you the results that I have gotten while using these runes for self-protection. Now, a little disclaimer, I don't claim to be a master of the runes. By the way, that's a funny phrase, because I actually know somebody who went to all the old text in search of that phrasing, master of the runes, and he found out that even Odin himself is not even referenced once as the master of the runes. So if there's anybody watching who thinks they're very proficient with the runes and knows the runes very well, I don't think you should call yourself a master. Because if Odin, the one who gave us the runes, is not a master, where does this leave us? If the wisest of the wise is not a master, where does that leave you and I? And if you look to Greek mythology, that book is filled to the brim with people who think they're better than the gods or the same as the gods, and it always ends poorly. So when you see people online claiming like, I'm a master of the runes, treat it with a bit of salt or throw some salt in their direction. Okay, so I'm not a master, but I am somebody who has grown to appreciate the runes more and more, who understands their power a little bit more. It's almost like they are just these fundamental energetic building blocks of the universe that connect layers of consciousness with each other. So, you want to protect yourself using rune magic. There is one rune that is perfect. That rune is called Algis. Now, it's gotten the shape from a deer's antlers. When a deer's antlers is up, it can protect itself from incoming attacks from other deer. It can block, but when you turn the rune upside down, you are no longer protected. Kind of puts the whole hippie movement in perspective. Because we all know that sign, we all know that rune. We've seen it everywhere. And the funny thing is, the hippie movement was all about, just everything is love. But in my experience, life is always two things: love and hate, good and bad, up and down. That is reality. And it is my experience that if you deny this reality, then this reality will remind you that it exists in a very unpleasant way. Before the hippie movement, it was all like, well, you need strong borders, that makes good neighbors. The hippie movement, I think that influence is still felt to this day. It's like if you just treat people nice enough, then they will love you back. A lot of people are going to find out in the future that life isn't all about love. It is, but it isn't. Okay. How can you use this rune for protection? Well, what you can do in your house, you can just paint that rune on your windows. You don't have to paint it. You can also just paint it in your mind's eye. Just see it in front of you and just place it on the four walls of your house, or better yet, place it around your house. And then you need to say the name of the rune. Algis, Algis. Hey, hey. Make it kind of, put your energy in there. There's a reason you want that Algis there. Maybe someone is bothering you. Maybe you're a bit anxious. Doesn't matter what it is, but you take that energy, that emotion, and you use it to charge the rune, to make it come alive. Another good use of the rune, by the way, this is what I always do when there's snow out. Now, when there's snow and ice out, it's usually dangerous on the roads, and I don't know if you've ever experienced the fact that you're in a car and you're driving on the road which has ice on it because the snow has melted and like the water has frozen up again, and you start sliding. It's terrible. So what I do before I drive anywhere when there's snow and ice, I put the Algis rune on my hood. Just, and I used my anxiety, my negative feelings, so, oh my god, I hope I'm not going to hit anybody. I used that to charge the rune, and I swear by the gods, it feels like the car is more stable when you put the Algis rune on the hood. You can just draw it in the snow. It's a bonus for you. That's just 2 ways. By the way, if there are people in the comments and like, hey, I use Algis like this, or I use different runes for protection, feel free to let me know. See this as a kind of open discussion. Like I said, I'm not a pagan pope. I'm just a guy sitting in his shed sharing what he knows, which might be really nice. Because I know that there are a lot of pagans who still like haven't found like a group which they can connect. So see this just as a little conversation that you can have with your friendly neighborhood pagan. Like, what do you do for magical protection? Oh, this is what I do for magical protection. It's funny, by the way, because I'm talking to you and I had that speech like hippies think it's all love and new agers think it's all love, but life is always the dark and the light. And look at my face, half light, half dark, just the way it should be. Now it's all light, dark again. Okay, second rune. Now this one, oh wait, no. Rewind back. I forgot something. I told you how I used it, how you could use it, but I didn't tell you the results yet. In my work, I work as a nurse, but I'm kind of my own boss. So like there are large organizations that just can hire me to, when they have people sick, I can fill in for them. So I travel all around this area. And I come to a lot of places, and a lot of the times where there are a lot of people sick in that hospital or in that home of the elderly is there's a virus there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, COVID. No, not COVID. We're done with that. But you have the other stuff. You have like the norovirus, for instance, that isn't going to kill you, but it will make you violently puke and shit for a day or two. And it's just terrible when you have it. So when I work there, you have to have the protective gear on and everything. But before I go in there, I close my eyes and I picture the Algis rune. All 4 directions. Tuk, 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 and I Algis, Algis. I charge it. I have done that every time I have been at my work and there was like the norovirus or that MRSA, all those antibiotic resistant bacteria. We're doing that for over a year. Still haven't caught anything, so I wouldn't consider it proof, but it is something that I continue to do to protect myself from the viruses at my work. Okay, now, second one. I wanted to get to the second one badly because it's a fun one. It's kind of an offensive one. Not offensive like you're going to be offended. If you're going to be offended, why click on this video? But I mean like defense and offense. And you go like, well, I thought it was for protection. Well, sometimes a good offense is the best defense. Does that mean you're going to attack people? No. This is what you use when people go over your boundaries or has a tendency to go over your boundaries. And I mean that in a malicious way. Sometimes, and a lot of the times, people go over our boundaries because we let people go over our boundaries. It's that simple. It's us who do that. But sometimes you have people who have really malicious intent. Really like, they see you and it's like, I'm just going to fuck you. Not literally, of course. then this rune comes in handy. The name of the rune is Thurias. Now, Algis represented the deer's antlers. This represents a thorn. And this is the rune that is associated with the god of thunder, Donar, or Thor. Now you understand when you have a rune that's associated with the most powerful and the strongest of all the gods, you have got quite a weapon on your hands. I have tried this once and my results have been absolutely shocking. It's like, you know when the police, they're on a high-speed chase and they drop these tacks on the floor that makes you pop your tires and makes the criminal stop? That's what it's like. So, Thurias. It's the thorn. It's like those tacks that the police throw out of their car in a high-speed chase that makes the tires of the criminals pop and make the car stop. Yeah. It's like an energetic nuclear bomb. Now, you need to be careful with that. Because when someone has malicious intent towards you, it can really help, but sometimes it's not really malicious intent. Sometimes it's just your own dumb fault. Sometimes it's just in your mind that people want to get you. Sometimes people usually think like, oh, my ex is a dick, he tried to fuck me over. And sometimes it's like that. A lot of the times it's not like that. A lot of the times it's you. And you don't want to face the facts that it's you. So if you want to use this rune, you have to know yourself and you have to make sure that it's not just you fucking yourself over, because a lot of times it's that. Now, charging goes the same way as like the Algis rune, but what you use is your righteous indignation. And you have to make sure that it's righteous. Now, I wanted to tell you what I've used this one for, and I can't go in too much of detail, but I had a meeting with a lady, and I felt very strongly that she was trying to screw me over. She put up a wall, and it was in a professional matter, a work matter. She just put up a wall, she didn't want to acknowledge her faults, and she just left me with all the shit. But I really felt she was pushing me away in a very angry manner, while being polite. I saw her incompetence. Now, I wasn't mad at that incompetence. We're all incompetent in one way or another. What I was mad about, that she was political about it. She closed the gate and she pushed me away and left me with her shit. You make shit, it's okay. We can clean it together. Not that difficult. But I got mad when she pushed me away and left me with shit. So what I did is I put the Thurias rune in my mind on her head. And I said, I hope she get caught in the thorns. I hope that her incompetence gets caught in the thorns. That's all I said. And I was pissed, and I used that anger to charge that rune. And after that, I didn't give it any more thought. Until 2 weeks ago. Well, that was about 3 weeks since I did that. I found out that the lady in question got fired. When I did that rune, there wasn't really anything to worry about for her, but I've heard the story that suddenly in 2 weeks' time, she made a couple of grave errors, and there were lots of complaints. So at the moment she is not fired, she's non-actief gesteld, she's non-active, she's sitting at home, but there's a good chance that she will get fired. So I take no pride in this. I didn't want her to lose her job. I just wanted her to get caught by her own incompetence, and that's exactly what happened. So Thurias is kind of like a nuclear bomb that you throw. So be careful with that one. So that's what I use to keep myself safe. As always, ga met de goden, go with the gods, and I'll see you in a week or two. Bedankt voor het kijken. Like en subscribe en al dat shit.